Here's the first part in 800 words using simple English and third-person narrative. The sun burned harsh and red across the rocky landscape of Kepler 452b, casting long shadows over broken terrain that looked more like a battlefield than a planet. Sergeant J. Park stood absolutely still, his breath controlled and steady inside his combat suit. Around him, the remnants of the human colony told a grim story of destruction. Jay had been tracking the Corum invasion force for 3 days. Their massive footprints and scorched ground told a story of brutal conquest. These aliens weren't just invading. They were systematically destroying everything in their path. Each destroyed settlement represented lives lost, families torn apart. His fingers touched the pulse rifle, feeling its familiar weight. The weapon was standard issue, but Jay had modified it slightly. Small adjustments that might mean the difference between survival and death. He had learned early in his military training that survival wasn't about having the biggest weapon, but about using what you had intelligently. The wind carried dust and small rock fragments, creating an eerie silence broken only by occasional, distant rumbles. Those rumbles weren't thunder. They were the heavy footsteps of approaching Corum warriors. Jay knew they were coming. He could feel it in the way the ground slightly trembled in the change of air pressure. 8-foot-tall creatures with metallic exoskeletons and advanced weapons, the Corum were known for their brutal efficiency. They had conquered multiple star systems, crushing civilizations that dared to resist. Their technology was generations ahead of human capabilities, their physical strength beyond human comparison. Jay remembered his training instructor's words. Size doesn't determine victory. Intelligence, adaptability, and pure human spirit do. Those words echoed in his mind now, as the first massive shadow appeared on the horizon. Commander Doran, the lead Corum warrior, moved with surprising grace for his enormous size. Each step crushed rocks beneath his armored feet. His weapon, a plasma cannon that could obliterate entire structures, hung casually at his side. To him, Jay was nothing more than an insect waiting to be crushed. But Jay wasn't afraid. Fear was a luxury no soldier could afford in moments like these. The landscape around them was a graveyard of human hopes. Destroyed buildings, burned vehicles, and scattered personal belongings told a story of quick evacuation and violent destruction. Jay had seen this before, on other colony worlds that the Corum had targeted. Doran stopped approximately 200 meters from Jay, his massive form blocking the reddish sunlight. Communication wasn't necessary. Both understood why they were here. One would survive, one would not. Jay's combat suit was designed for maximum mobility. Unlike the heavy, rigid armor of the Corum, his suit allowed quick movements, temperature regulation, and integrated tactical computing. Every piece of equipment was a potential advantage. The Corum commander carried generations of genetic engineering. His muscles were reinforced, his reflexes enhanced beyond natural limits. To him, human soldiers were nothing more than target practice. Hundreds of worlds had fallen to the Corum invasion. Why would this one be different? But Jay represented something the Corum never understood: human determination. In that moment, standing less than half the height of his opponent, Sergeant J. Park represented humanity's last stand on this planet. Behind him were the remnants of a colony, families, children, everything worth protecting. Doran raised his plasma cannon, the weapon humming with destructive energy. A single shot could vaporize a human into molecular dust. He saw no challenge, no threat, just another insignificant human waiting to be eliminated. Jay's hand slightly moved, checking his rifle's settings. His eyes never left the massive alien. No sudden movements, no wasted energy, just pure, focused concentration. The wind picked up, carrying dust and small rock fragments. In the distance, more Corum ships could be seen approaching. This wasn't just a battle. This was a statement. This was humanity's moment to prove that size, technology, and overwhelming force didn't always determine the outcome of a conflict. Sergeant J. Park took one controlled breath. The battle was about to begin. The battlefield transformed into a chess match of survival. Jay knew every movement could be his last. The Quorum Commander Doran represented pure physical superiority. 8 feet of muscle, metal, and genetic engineering designed to crush smaller species. Tactical data scrolled. Inside Jay's helmet display. Weapon analysis, terrain mapping, environmental conditions. Everything indicated an impossible scenario. The Quorum plasma cannon could destroy structures from kilometers away. His pulse rifle seemed like a child's toy in comparison. Wind carried small dust particles across rocky terrain. Jay understood terrain was his only potential advantage. The uneven ground, scattered rock formations, and slight elevation changes could disrupt the aliens' massive movement patterns. His combat training had prepared him for impossible odds. Military academies didn't just teach weapon handling. They taught psychological warfare, environmental adaptation, and, most critically, how to fight when logic suggested surrender. Doran's movement patterns revealed something interesting. Despite massive size, the alien moved with calculated precision. Each step measured, each motion deliberate. This wasn't just a brute. This was a trained warrior with generations of combat experience. The pulse rifle's targeting system highlighted potential weak points on Doran's exoskeleton. Joints, cooling systems, sensor arrays. Small vulnerabilities that could turn the tide if exploited correctly. Jay's fingers moved subtly, adjusting weapon settings. Temperature readings showed increasing heat signatures. The Quorum's energy weapon was charging, preparing for potential engagement. Jay knew he had mere seconds to make critical decisions. Military doctrine suggested retreat. Tactical analysis showed 87% probability of mission failure. But Jay wasn't interested in probabilities. He was interested in survival, not just his own, but the colony's. His suit's cooling system worked overtime, managing stress responses. Increased heart rate, heightened adrenaline, razor-sharp focus, human physiology transforming into a survival machine. Doran took another step forward. The ground trembled slightly, rocks shifted, small pebbles danced with each massive movement. An ordinary soldier would see an unstoppable force. Jay saw opportunity. Communication systems crackled. Distant signals suggested more Quorum ships entering the planet's atmosphere. This wasn't just a battle. This was humanity's potential extinction event. Jay's mind processed multiple scenarios simultaneously. Option 1. Direct confrontation. Certain death. Option 2. Strategic retreat. Potential colony evacuation. Option 3. Unconventional engagement. Risky, but possible. The pulse rifle's energy cells hummed softly. Modified settings could provide unexpected results. Standard military technology met human creativity, a combination the Quorum never anticipated. Doran's plasma cannon continued charging. Each energy pulse could vaporize entire human structures. The weapon represented technological superiority, a clear message of overwhelming force. But technology wasn't everything. Human adaptability had always been the ultimate weapon. Terrain analysis showed multiple potential cover positions. Rock formations, slight depressions, scattered debris. Each could provide momentary protection. Jay's movement would need to be precise, almost dance-like. His suit's internal systems began calculating potential engagement strategies. Machine learning algorithms combined with human intuition, a hybrid approach to survival. The distance between Jay and Doran remained constant. 60 meters, 55 meters, each step a potential death sentence, each moment a test of human versus alien capability. Distant explosions suggested ongoing colony destruction. Time was running out. Decisions needed to be made quickly, efficiently, without emotional interference. Jay's breathing remained controlled, heart rate steady, mental focus absolute. This was more than a personal battle. This represented humanity's resilience, its ability to face impossible odds. Doran's massive form continued advancing, slow, deliberate, confident. The battle was about to change, and humanity's last hope stood barely 5 feet 10 inches tall, holding a modified pulse rifle, facing an 8-foot alien war machine. The rocky terrain became Jay's silent ally. Each step calculated, each movement a potential trap for the massive Corum warrior. Dust kicked up around his boots, creating momentary visual disruptions that broke direct line of sight. Doran's massive form moved with surprising speed. 8 feet of muscle and metal should have been clumsy, but years of genetic engineering made him frighteningly agile. His plasma cannon tracked Jay's movements, waiting for a clear shot. Jay understood one fundamental truth. Size was both a strength and a weakness. The larger the opponent, the more difficult precise movement became. Rock formations, slight elevation changes, scattered debris. These would be his weapons. His first strategic move involved creating controlled chaos. A small electromagnetic pulse from his suit's modified systems began interfering with Doran's weapon tracking. Digital disruption. A human innovation the Corum hadn't anticipated. The wind carried dust and small rock fragments. Temperature readings fluctuated. Jay's suit adapted constantly, its computer systems working faster than human reflexes could process. Each second was a complex mathematical equation of survival. Doran's frustration became visible. Massive arms moved, trying to track the human soldier who seemed to dance between rock formations. One moment visible, the next completely hidden. Traditional Corum combat training relied on direct confrontation. This was something entirely different. Tactical. Communication signals suggested more alien ships entering the planet's atmosphere. This wasn't just a battle. This was humanity's potential last stand on this colony world. Jay's movement pattern looked random, but was anything but. Each step calculated, each position chosen with surgical precision. He was creating a psychological battlefield, not just a physical one. The pulse rifle remained ready. Modified settings allowed for unexpected engagement strategies. Standard military technology met human creativity, a combination that defied traditional combat logic. Doran's plasma cannon continued charging. Energy built up, creating visible heat signatures that Jay's suit immediately mapped and analyzed. Every weapon had a weakness. Every system had a vulnerability. Rock formations provided momentary cover. Jay used them like a living chess piece, always 3 moves ahead. The Corum warrior's size became his greatest limitation. Where Jay could slip between rocks, Doran would need to go around or through them. Distant explosions painted the horizon. Burning colony structures told a story of brutal invasion. But this moment, this battle, represented more than just survival. It was a statement about human resilience. The suit's internal systems continued calculating. Machine learning algorithms combined with human intuition created a hybrid survival strategy. Each movement was both a defensive and offensive position. Doran's massive footsteps created small earthquakes. Rocks shifted. Dust rose. But Jay remained invisible, a ghost moving through the battlefield. Traditional military doctrine suggested this was impossible. Human spirit suggested otherwise. Communication systems crackled. Distant signals suggested the colony's final moments were approaching. Time was a luxury neither side could afford. Jay's breathing remained controlled. Heart rate steady. Mental focus absolute. Years of training condensed into this single moment of potential survival. The plasma cannon's energy continued building. A weapon designed to destroy entire structures, now focused on a single human soldier. The irony wasn't lost on Jay. Each rock formation became a potential trap. Each dust cloud a potential moment of concealment. The battlefield transformed from a physical space to a psychological challenge. Doran's massive form represented pure physical superiority, generations of genetic engineering, advanced technological weaponry, the ultimate combat machine. But machines can be outthought, systems can be disrupted, and human creativity remained the most unpredictable weapon in any conflict. The distance between hunter and hunted continued to change. 60 meters, 50, 40. Each step a potential death sentence. Each moment a test of human versus alien capability. Jay Park represented something the Corum never understood. Hope wasn't measured in size or technological superiority. It was measured by the willingness to fight when all logical options suggested surrender. The battle was about to change, and humanity's last hope moved silently between rock formations, waiting for the perfect mow. The moment weapons failed, everything changed. Pure survival instinct took over. 8 feet of alien muscle met 5 feet 10 inches of human determination in a dance of pure combat survival. Doran's massive hand grabbed Jay's combat suit, lifting him effortlessly off the ground. The alien's strength could crush human bones like dry branches. But Jay had been trained for impossible scenarios. His right hand moved with surgical precision, targeting a specific point on the alien's exoskeleton. Years of specialized military training condensed into a single moment of pure physical response. The suit's augmented systems worked over time. Micro-hydraulic supports prevented immediate skeletal crushing. Each muscle fiber prepared for a response that defied normal human limitations. Doran's breath came in massive industrial-like sounds. His genetic engineering created a body designed to kill. Every muscle fiber was a weapon, every movement calculated for maximum destruction. Jay understood one fundamental truth about combat. Weakness could become strength. Size didn't determine victory. Technique, adaptability, and pure human spirit did. When thrown, Jay used the momentum. His body twisted mid-air, converting potential death into a tactical advantage. Landing wasn't about survival. It was about immediate counterattack. The rocky terrain became another weapon. Dust clouds, scattered rocks, slight elevation changes. Everything could be used. Where the Quorum saw a battlefield, Jay saw a complex tactical environment. Doran's massive fist came down like an industrial hammer. Each strike could demolish concrete structures. But Jay was never where the strike was expected. Martial techniques from multiple human combat systems merged. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu's ground fighting, Krav Maga's survival techniques, military close combat training. Everything compressed into pure survival instinct. The alien's massive reach should have been an impossible advantage. But human creativity transformed limitations into opportunities. Jay's strikes targeted specific points, joint connections, sensor arrays, cooling system vulnerabilities. Each movement calculated to maximum effect. Doran's genetic engineering had created the perfect killing machine. Muscles reinforced beyond natural limits. Reflexes enhanced through generations of technological manipulation. But machines could be outsmarted. Systems could be disrupted. Blood mixed with alien biochemical fluids. Dust created visual disruption. The battlefield transformed from a technological engagement to pure survival combat. Each blow Jay received, he returned with compound interest. Pain became a tool. Survival became the only acceptable outcome. The suit's internal systems worked continuously. Medical support, structural reinforcement, micro-healing technologies activated with each potential critical injury. Doran represented generations of combat engineering, the ultimate biological weapon, created to crush smaller species without mercy. But he had never fought a human who refused to accept defeat. Jay's movements became almost impossible to predict. Where a normal human would retreat, he attacked. Where expected defense suggested protection, he created offensive opportunities. The colony's destruction played out in the distant background, burning structures, falling transport ships. Humanity's potential extinction event happening while 2 warriors fought for survival. One represented technological superiority. The other represented pure human spirit. Doran's massive frame began, showing unexpected vulnerabilities. Each strike revealing potential weakness. Human adaptability meeting alien engineering in a brutal dance of survival. The ground trembled with their combat. Rocks shifted. Dust clouds rose and fell. The very planet seemed to watch their engagement. Jay understood this was more than personal survival. This represented humanity's potential future. Every moment was a statement about human resilience. His breathing remained controlled, heart rate steady, mental focus absolute. The massive alien warrior brought down another crushing strike. Jay was already moving, not just reacting, anticipating. Combat became poetry. Violence transformed into a complex mathematical equation of survival. Human versus alien, technique versus brute force, hope versus technological superiority. The battle continued, and humanity's last hope moved with impossible grace. The final moments arrived with brutal simplicity. Dust clouds rose like blood-red curtains across the dying planetary landscape. Jay and Doran stood barely meters apart, both broken but unbroken. Doran's massive frame showed unexpected vulnerability. Alien blood mixed with rocky terrain. His genetic engineering, once considered perfect, now revealed critical weaknesses. Jay's constant tactical strikes had transformed the seemingly invincible warrior into something fragile. Human determination met alien technological superiority in one final moment of pure survival instinct. The colony's distant burning structures painted a grim background. Humanity's potential extinction played out like a silent movie. One battle would determine everything. Jay's combat suit displayed critical damage warnings. Internal systems flickered. Medical support technologies worked overtime, preventing total system failure. Each breath became a calculated risk. Doran raised his remaining functional arm. The plasma cannon hung broken, but his physical strength remained devastating. One direct strike could crush human bones into powder, but Jay had learned something critical during this battle. Size wasn't strength. Adaptability was. Wind carried dust and small rock fragments across the battlefield. Temperature readings fluctuated. The planet itself seemed to hold its breath. Military training condensed into pure survival instinct. Years of preparation prepared for this single moment. One movement could determine humanity's future. The aliens' genetic engineering had created the perfect killing machine. Muscles reinforced beyond natural limits. Reflexes enhanced through technological manipulation, but no system was perfect. Jay's movement became liquid, precise, calculated. Where a normal human would retreat, he attacked. Where expected defense suggested protection, he created offensive opportunities. Distant communication signals suggested more quorum ships entering planetary atmosphere. This wasn't just a battle. This was humanity's potential last stand. Doran's massive frame moved with decreasing efficiency. Each strike became slower, each movement more predictable. The perfect killing machine was breaking down. Jay understood one fundamental truth. Combat was 10% physical, 90% mental. Psychological warfare could defeat technological superiority. The ground trembled slightly. Rocks shifted. Dust clouds rose and fell like breathing entities. The very planet seemed to watch their final engagement. One precise movement could change everything. Doran's final strike came with industrial-like power. A massive arm designed to crush entire structures moved towards Jay's position, but Jay was already moving. Using the alien's own momentum, a complex throw transformed potential death into tactical advantage. Years of martial training compressed into a single moment of pure human creativity. The massive warrior's body traveled through the air. Genetic engineering meant nothing against perfect technique. Doran crashed into a rocky formation. The sound echoed across the planetary landscape like a final punctuation mark. Silence followed. Dust settled. Temperature readings stabilized. The combat suit systems began recovery protocols. In the distance, human reinforcement ships appeared. Arrival too late for direct combat, but perfect for witnessing humanity's potential survival. Jay stood absolutely still. Breathing controlled. Mental focus absolute. The massive alien warrior lay defeated. Not by technological superiority, not by genetic engineering, but by pure human determination. One soldier represented something the Quorum never understood. Hope wasn't measured by size or technological capability. It was measured by the willingness to fight when all logical options suggested surrender. Distant explosions continued. Burning colony structures told a story of brutal invasion. But this moment represented more than just survival. This was a statement about human resilience. As human ships landed, they found Sergeant J. Park standing tall. The defeated Coram commander lay broken at his feet, a message written in blood and determination. Humanity would survive. Humanity would fight. Meant